They talk about social distancing. It didn't come with the science. Science was developed 3,000 years later, if I'm not mistaken, to know those terms. But already those terms existed in the Bible. Are you following me?
His Majesty King Somnala, World of Plenty Telethoughts on World of Plenty TV. Divine prophetic thoughts for your day. His Majesty King Somnala, Plentiologist. His Majesty King Somnala, the Plentiologist. His Majesty King Somnala, the Plentiologist.
Let's talk about the system. What is wrong? What went wrong with education? Education immediately is taken out of the house of God, according to our believers Plentian. Then it will never serve the glory to build a godly generation. It will raise a puffed up people who think they know, and some of them, they got 90%, they forget that there's something that they don't know. Even if they got 100%, it's not all there to know in that 100%. There are more. For example, before I show up, there was no Plentiality. And when I started it, people couldn't believe it. Even the people of my faith were very uncomfortable, and some of them left because of that. But what went wrong, it is when we thought, because I'm educated now, we must separate science and the house of God. Now, what happened is this. In the Bible, in the history of the Bible, like I taught you last year, that today we talk about quarantine. I taught you last year, quarantine before there was a lockdown. You remember that? It was on this occasion. No. Before that, what was the year? 2019. Yes. I taught you about quarantine. Quarantine is simple, like when somebody has a leprosy, he had to be quarantined. He has to be separated from people. There has to be a certain distance. They talk about social distancing. It didn't come with the science. Science was developed 3,000 years later, if I'm not mistaken, to know those terms. But already those terms existed in the Bible. Are you following me? Now, when you get those terms, quarantine, what you call sanitization. You remember I taught you sanitization before they told you sanitization. What these kids are talking, don't think they are educated by so-called lockdown and coronavirus. No, they were taught in this pulpit. Before it took, I think I taught it on December, yes, 2019, on November 2019. Then on January, it hits our country. Are you hearing me? We started to hear this thing, quarantine, people need to be quarantined. Check your Bible. People will be out, some of them for 7 days, or some of them 21 days. When the Bible says if you have a discharge, you are unclean, or you have a certain sickness, or whatever thing that you did, you needed to be quarantined and or sanitize your clothes. I taught about washing your hands in the running water, that it didn't come with the science. Science catch up later. After the Bible, God has commanded his people to do so. Are you hearing me? Lento yokuhlukanisa imfundo noNkulunkulu ngenxa yokuthi esontweni khona abantu ababaleka ukuthi bafunde, besaba, behlula ukufunda, base bethi abanye abawatholanga amathuba njengami, abanye nje bahlulwa imfundo, bese becasha ngokuthi njalo bakhulume ngezilimi, njalo bathshayina away kulento ekhulunywayo, bazi nje kuphela basifunde ukuthi the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. They forget that it says he lead me beside the still water. What is the still water? The still water is the faith water that you carry. If God led you to the still water, you should understand, you should not demonize what God led David to. And that chapter is a prophetic psalm about John 10, which Jesus said, I am a shepherd. Then in verse 10 he said, I have come that they may have plenty and have it more abundantly. So the point I'm making, little knowledge is so dangerous. I have seen people in the Bible, I'm highly respected when you get to people who are not jealous of me. But I have seen people who doesn't know a thing about the Bible, trying to make me to be the one who is ignorant of the Bible. I have performed things that myself, when I hear people, sometimes I get confused about myself. Because when they brought us a Bible, they gave us an idea that there were people who were super being, so powerful, that they had God and there was no Bible. How do you tell me that there is a God who came to Abraham, who was in Uriah where they worship idols? How do you say then that man heard the voice of God without attending a Bible study? Are you hearing me? And when that man heard the voice of God, you believe he heard the voice of God. You were not there. And then comes me, I live in your generation. I had God in 1980s. I started to follow that voice. As it stands today, I'm 36 years doing what I'm doing. And I have people who follow me. I have people who came back to life. I have people who were born who were not able to speak. I have heard God telling me what to do to them. I told you about coronavirus in 2019 March. I told you about this thing in 2019 December. I told you that when this thing so-called coronavirus is not corona. Corona is what they are going to inject you with.
His Majesty, King Somnala, Plentiologist live. His Majesty, King Somnala, the Plentiologist live. His Majesty, King Somnala, World of Plenty Telethons on World of Plenty TV. Divine prophetic thoughts for your day.